Venezuela. The USA is becoming isolated in the US-Venezuela tension. Breaking news. World turns against America. UK, China, and Russia side with Venezuela. The USA is becoming isolated in the US-Venezuela tensions. The UK has officially stopped sharing its intelligence with the US. And here's why this comes in response to the US carrying out dozens of airstrikes on Venezuelan boats in the Caribbean. The important part is that the UK believes these attacks are illegal, and they do not want to facilitate the killing of civilians in the Caribbean. Colombia also says they will never use their intelligence for the USA. Meanwhile, Iran is sending drones to Venezuela to use to bomb American warships if the US decides to bomb Venezuela. And this is a huge deal. China is also going to be sending more aircraft to Venezuela, meaning the US could be in for a big fight with Venezuela. Russia has already sent large amounts of air defense systems, missiles, and weapons to Venezuela. It's very likely that Russia's allies, like China and Iran, would also be willing to send more support to Venezuela too. If you found this video useful, then like it, comment on it, and share it with others. As usual.
Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash. This your Akim Azrael, back with another quick lesson. You could tell by the opening clip, this topic is about prophecy. And we're going to go into the book of Ezekiel chapter 16 to 36. I'm going to just get into it. It says, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, power, because thy filthiness was poured out, and thy nakedness discovered through thy whoredom with thy lovers, and with all the idols of thy abominations, and by the blood of thy children, which thou didst give unto them. Behold, therefore I will gather all thy lovers, with whom thou hast taken pleasure, and all them that has Salakia, and all them that thou hast loved, with all them that thou hast hated. I would even gather them around about against thee, and will discover thy nakedness unto them that they may see all thy nakedness, man. And that's what the Lord is doing, man. The Lord is gathering all these nations. And when it says, they said America has been isolated. And what was Britain, you know, up until this point was considered what? An ally of the United States, man. Great Britain. Now they're what? Joining forces with all these countries that were not allies, more or less opposed to America, like Iran, Russia, China. These are not allies of the United States. You know, now you got Venezuela, you got Colombia, all these other countries, man. You know, Cuba, I'm pretty sure Cuba is going to get turned in the mix. You know, all these countries are gathering, you know, pretty much mustering together because of this tension in the, I guess, you know, in the, what you want to consider the Gulf of Mexico, towards the southern part of America, you know, South America, as it's called, you know. So all this stuff is prophecy, man. You know, let me read it again. This is the book of Ezekiel 16. I'm going to start at the point. It says, Behold, therefore I will gather all thy lovers with them that, Salakia. Ezekiel 16:37 again. Behold, therefore I will gather all thy lovers with whom thou hast taken pleasure, and all them that thou hast loved, with all them that thou hast hated, man. So, you know, Great Britain and America, man, there was, you know, real close, man. You know, the Ten Horns, you know, they were pretty much allies, part of the United Nations. But now Great Britain is joining sides with what? Russia, China, Iran, the ones that hate us, that America hates, man. And all them that thou hast loved, with all them that thou hast hated, I will even gather them round about against thee. What's going on in the South of America? All these countries is pretty much surrounding America, man. They're pretty much or slash giving aid, you know, to Venezuela in efforts to what? Protect them against what they call people are calling the United States is being on the aggressive end, man. They've been the aggressive, man, which is no that shouldn't be a mystery. That's what the United States always been for a long time. They always been the aggressor, but they're trying to portray themselves as humanitarian slash, freedom fighters or whatever you want to call it, or peacekeepers. And I will even gather them round about against thee, and I will discover thy nakedness unto them, that they may see all thy nakedness. 38, and I will judge thee as women that break wedlock and shed blood are judged, and I will give thee blood in fury and jealousy. Let's read that again. Ezekiel 16:38, and it says, and I will judge thee as women that break wedlock and shed blood are judged, and I will give thee blood in fury and jealousy, man. So that's what the Lord is going to give, because that's what America has done on the world, on not only here in Babylon the Great, but on the world scale, man. It went about doing what? Shedding blood, man. And that's what in the scripture says, what? You reap what you sow, man. So these countries, man, they're like, man, we're not down with it anymore, man. We're not putting up with it. We're wise, man. These nations are becoming wise to the hypocrisy, the hypocritical nature of Babylon the Great, aka America, man. So these countries are what? They're pretty much fed up. They're not with the gimmick and the narrative that America is trying to portray, man. They're trying to portray as, the leader, and everybody else supposed to follow suit. But these other countries are like, nah, it's not like that. Your time is over. You know what I'm saying? You had your run. Now, they're willing to do what it takes to make that point, man. But we know these heathens are gathering about in efforts to what? Fulfill prophecy, because the true heir of the throne is on the way, man, which is Yahweh Shai, man. And I'm going to end it off there, man. Hope the body was edified. Till the next time, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakak Wadash. Again, this Shai Kim and Julazil. Lord willing, I'll be back with another lesson. Till next time, Shalom, Barakatham, Baba Shalom.